Welcome, friends, to another Mercy Moment Emery episode. I have my bro, my main man, Crevenstein Steven. Applause. The man. Hey, we've had a wonderful day. In and out. Hello. So grateful for you. And just took a run, and the rain started coming down. But we just wanted to let you into the freedom and the healing and the understanding we've received. It's been such an epic conversation since I picked him up at the airport. We've been talking about the freedom of surrender, the redemption of releasing what we think we control, and giving up what doesn't even exist. Perceive control.
Yeah.
But jump on in, bro. What do you feel we've been receiving and just digesting together?
Yeah. Just how powerful it is to surrender, to come to a place where you realize that you don't have power, and you kind of give up this idea of control, even though like I in my life feel this pull to like try and control things, but the way that my life's gone as a result of that is not where I want it to go. But the irony is, when I surrender, when I give up that perceived control that I think I have, that I really don't have, it allows space for God, for other things to take that place. And I think another thing we've been touching on is how connection is so important, and something I've been learning is just how addiction is the opposite of connection. And when you're connected to someone,
That's
you
weird.
really, when you're connected to someone, to God, to something outside of yourself, that really just frees you up to live like a different life. Whereas addiction is bondage, trap, shame, and isolation. And ironically, the thing that is the opposite of addiction is connection. And so the beauty of connection, and you shared something that your counselor said about connection, so I'll throw it back to you.
Oh yeah. My boy Casey Cherry, I was so grateful. Yeah, he shared with me the other day, and I just wrote this down. I'm like, this is gold. He said that we connect in our, we relate. There we go, helping me out. We relate in our strengths, but we connect in our weaknesses. I'll say it one more time. We relate in our strengths, but we connect in our weaknesses. And that's something we've really touched on, and just really as we've shared our weaknesses, I feel like we've been super connected in this time together, just being honest and transparent about things that most people won't talk about. Just real talk, like being a virgin going into your wedding night. I know I'm getting him really uncomfortable. We're not going to dive into what we talked about, just not appropriate, but like things that aren't talked about, and it's a shocker when you get into real life and you're like, I wasn't equipped for this. Holy smokes, this is intense. But the beauty of sharing those events and being transparent and vulnerability is the bedrock and the foundation, and also the sustaining culture of connection. So being authentically open, not in an overbearing way that overshadows the other person, but in a way that you're seeking to build connection. Because there's a hyper vulnerability that it becomes all about the person sharing, and it really doesn't create connection. So I just want to kind of deal with the extreme there, because vulnerability has a limit, a healthy limit, I would say. It's not just like over
not everything for everyone.
Yeah, not everything. There we go. Ooh, that's a good one. Say that again.
Not everything for everyone.
That's rich. That's wisdom. Take that and run with that. But seriously, just so much freedom in just being real and sharing about our weaknesses, sharing about our failures. Like, people applaud our strengths and our victories, but we really do connect in our failures. And the thing I love about failure is it is a teacher. It is not final. Failure is a teacher. Get that? Failure is a teacher. It's not final. We aren't to be defined by it. We're to be refined by it. There's a very big distinction in my mindset. What I perceive, I receive. So if I see something as final and versus finite, changes the ball game. So I just want to give you that renewed perspective.
Let me tag team right off
Tag
that.
team, bro. Tag team. Get it.
All right, I'm up.
You're up, bro.
Another thing that I've heard recently is accept the way that it is. It kind of in regards to surrender, but act the way you want it to be, and that piggybacks perfectly off.
Just say it one more time.
Accept the way that it is, but act the way you want it to be.
Ooh,
And I think that's
good.
what surrender is. It's not just like a complete letting go of like, oh, whatever happens. It's
Oh no.
it's
Good-
accepting
good
the
point.
way that it is,
Yep.
that I don't have control, but then acting, doing the work, not allowing it to define you, be a finite thing like you said, but just to continue acting the way you want it to be, but at the same time not being resentful or mad that things aren't how you want them to be at the same time. So
Ooh. Release of your blueprint. Release
Yeah.
of my blueprint of the way I think things should be, the way I thought they would be. I know that's where I've been in life, releasing my blueprint to receive his perspective of that, of the brokenness I'm dealing with, to receive, like, Father, how do you see this? Because I'm seeing it and I'm like, oh my gosh, my life is over. This sucks. Like, everything I've built is destroyed in 5 seconds. Like, God, how could this happen? And instead, he wants to actually breathe life into a new vision and his redemptive perspective, seeing eyes to eyes of radical redemption, seeing the radical redeemer's perspective of all that's going on in my life versus my finite perspective that's limited and just so small in comparison to the big picture. I want to look to the God who knows all things and trust an unknown future to a known God. That's resonated with me. And our youth pastor Jeremiah always used to say, blessed are the flexible, for they shall not be broken. And man, as I get older and older, that reality just brings so much clarity to my heart. I'm like, oh man, it's not about getting my way, it's about just being flexible and flexing and bending, and just like the tree that was on the hill swaying in the wind, because if I resist change, it will break me. But if I am flexible and sway with it, my root system goes deep. So as I surrender and release and sway with the flow of life, not haphazardly, like you said, not just letting whatever happen, but developing a mindset of release and surrender, but also embracing a mindset of growth to grow within it. So releasing to receive something, not just releasing and being totally open minded and having no focus in life, but releasing to receive his perception of all of it. Liberation, healing.
Love it.
Love it, bro. So good to talk with you.
Yeah.
Blessings to you, friends.